Call to order. This is a Tuesday, October 21st, 2014, regular meeting of the Joliet City Council. Mayor Tom Girani presiding. The invocation tonight will be led by Reverend Charles Rains of the Fellowship Bible Church at 122 Morris Street in Joliet, after which time Reverend will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Lord, we pray from this room where the very heartbeat of Joliet is felt, that these chosen representatives of the people might have quick minds, clear understanding, and wisdom as they deliberate tonight. That you might give them hearts that seek truth, but also mercy. That you would lead them as they direct these matters, that you might be pleased with all that's done. We seek in all ways, Lord, the good of the people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We need it. This church.
One Sunday.
Thank you, Reverend.
I'd say that until they hit the council.
You guys don't need it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Need it.
Need all we can get.
Start with roll call. Mayor Girani.
Here.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Here.
Councilman Girl.
Here.
Councilman Huggs.
Here.
Councilman McFarland.
Here.
Councilman Morris.
Here.
Councilman Oderkirk.
Here.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Here.
Councilman Turk.
Here.
First on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written with the following changes? Add the introduction of the newly appointed deputy police chiefs to the agenda before council committee reports. Move the proclamations following council committee reports, and move Council Memo 526-14, the issuance of a Class D liquor license for Pizza for You following the proclamations.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Huggs.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Oderkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye. This time I'd like to have Chief Benton come up and introduce the new chiefs.
Good evening. Thank you,
Good
Mr.
evening.
Mayor, members of City Council. Earlier this year, Mayor, Council, City Manager, and all the department heads participated in a process to develop a strategic plan for our city, a plan that would help put us on a path towards improving the level of service that we deliver to the public. Two areas that were identified as needing improvement were operational effectiveness and community engagement. This came as no surprise to us in the police department, since we've realized that in recent years we've had a void to fill. We found it difficult to provide the same level of service to our citizens that they've been accustomed to, primarily due to a loss of many of our senior staff members through attrition. In 2009, we lost an administrative division commander position. 2011, our deputy chief position was vacated, and since then, 2 other deputy chief positions have been vacated. And so we saw the need to conduct a detailed organizational assessment of our police department. We recognize the need for stability, and as a result, presented to you a restructuring plan, created a flatter organization with elevated levels of authority. I'm proud to say that as a result of your critical support in this restructuring process, we're here today to celebrate a monumental occasion in the history of our Joliet Police Department with the restructuring of our command staff and the introduction of our new deputy chiefs. So at least this time I'd like to introduce them to you by seniority, not by looks, but we'll start off. First being Deputy Chief Brian Dupree. Brian's in his 25th year with the Joliet Police Department, most recently serving as the Acting Division Commander of Investigations. He is currently assigned as the new Deputy Chief of Technical Services. Brian?
First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Hawk, Mayor Girani, members of City Council. My name is Brian Dupree. I will be the new Deputy Chief of the Technical Services Division. I don't want to take much of your time, but I do want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity. It is truly humbling and honoring. I would like to say that for the past 24 years, I've worked very closely with the other 3 newly appointed deputy chiefs. I think together we'll form a cohesive unit where we can efficiently and effectively run the Joliet Police Department. My main area will be the Communications Center and also the Records Division. And as you all know, there's be some major changes that will be happening very soon in both of those areas. The Communications Center will be switching over to a new CADS dispatch system the first week of November. In the Records section, we'll be switching over to a whole new RMS system sometime after that. We're not sure exactly when that's going to go live. These will prove challenging for our department, but I look forward to working with our personnel to ensure that those changes don't impact the level of service that the citizens of Joliet are accustomed to. Again, I would like to thank you for this. It is truly humbling and honor, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to Deputy Chief Edgar Gregory. He's also in his 25th year with the Joliet Police Department, most recently serving as a watch commander in operations. He is currently assigned as the new Deputy Chief of Operations. Ed?
Thank you, Chief. Mayor, Council, City Manager, Chief, ladies and gentlemen. Can't leave them out. I'd like to thank you all once again for this opportunity as well. It's a tremendous opportunity for us, great responsibilities ahead for me and the 3 other deputy chiefs. We're in the process of breaking down the barriers between the divisions here. We have the technical services deputy chief, the administrative deputy chief, and I'm leaving out one, investigative deputy chief as well. We open up the lines of communication. We're breaking down the barriers. We're going to be crossing over into each other's fields. So no longer will there be a separation between the units here. Operationally, I have the operations division. I've been speaking with officers. Officers unsolicited have approached me, and they're so excited. Chief, if you can believe this, they're so excited about the change and the restructuring that has taken place. They have been given a shot in the arm. They see major changes or potential major changes coming. First thing they ask me is, hey, Deputy Chief, what change are you going to make right away? I'm going to make none. A wise man once told me, you need to sit back and watch what's occurring. Don't come in and make changes, because the first mistake that you make is going to be microscoped. It's going to be examined. So we want to sit back, observe what's exactly going on, and then we'll start making our changes from there. We have a great working relationship with the chief here, and he has a confidence in our abilities. For the last 8 years, I've been a watch commander, so I know what's going on in operation. I know what the officers need. I know what the supervisors need and what they're requesting. My first duty is to meet with the numerous divisions. I have at least 5 divisions that I'm in control of. I'm going to meet with those 5 supervisors and the officers in the coming days and coming weeks. And what I want to ask them is, what are their top major concerns? I have to limit it to about 3, because they might inundate me with all types of stuff. So the top 3 major concerns is what we're looking for, and then I'll start working on that, and I'll be a liaison with the chief, and I'm sure working together we can move the department and the city to a greater place. I appreciate that. Once again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Next, I'd like to introduce you to Deputy Chief Alan Rochner. He's in his 24th year with the Joliet Police Department, most recently serving as the Operations Division Commander. He is currently assigned as the new Deputy Chief of Investigations.
I'll be short, unlike what they said theirs would be. But good evening, Mayor, City Council, City Manager, Chief Benton. Thank you for the opportunity to continue to serve the community that I love in the capacity as Deputy Chief of the Investigations Division. I look forward to the changes and challenges that are ahead of me. I would like to give special thanks to my wife, Nancy, and my daughters, Catherine, Haley, and Zoe, for their never-ending love, support throughout my career in policing. Policing is definitely, with my career, is a roller coaster ride, and they've held on the whole way. So they need all the credit for this, more than I do, actually. I'd like to also thank my rest of my family, my mother, my father, and my sisters and brother. and friends and those in the community that have supported me throughout this, along the way. It means a lot to me. And just one thing I want to say to all the other officers out there, you got to take that sergeant's exam because you never know where the road's going to lead you. I mean, like, who'd have thought I'd be here? So, that's what I'm saying. So go with it and do it, and it's a great department, and I look forward to working with everybody up here and everybody in the department. Thanks.
And last but not least, I'd like to introduce you to Deputy Chief Tab Jensen, who is in his 24th year with the Joliet Police Department, most recently serving as the Captain of Special Services. He is currently assigned as the new Deputy Chief of Administration.
Good evening. I'd also like to thank City Council, the Mayor, City Manager, Mr. Hawk, residents of Joliet, many of you that I have worked closely with. The City Council, I've worked closely with many of you. I've known some of you longer than others. But again, thank you for your continuous support over the years. Thanks to Chief Benton for giving me the opportunity to work alongside with him and make this department even better. I look forward to working with my fellow deputy chiefs. As they said, we're going to work in a cohesive group, not just me in charge of administration, them in charge of their. We're going to work cohesively to get this place up and running even better. Chief Benton's been smiling a little bit more these days because he knows he has help. But I also want to give a special thanks to my wife and my kids who, again, have always been supportive of my entire career within Joliet. I'm proud to be an officer. I'm proud to be working for Joliet. Joliet has given my family a great opportunity. They provided them with great opportunities in the city, and I look forward to paying that back. I work for the greatest police department in this country, and I work with dedicated, very dedicated officers. I've enjoyed my over 23 years here as a police officer and intend to do my best to make this the best police department. Again, City Council, Mayor, City Manager, thank you for the opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are currently 261 sworn police officers on the Joliet Police Department and 71 civilian staff members. It's no small task managing an organization of this size, but each of these newly promoted chiefs have proven their abilities time and time again. I'm confident that they're more than qualified to carry out the new duties that are assigned to them. So once again, please join me in congratulating our new deputy chiefs.
Good thoughts on Kappa meetings. Congratulations.
Next is council committee reports, CTIS committee report.
CTIS met yesterday at 4 o'clock in the first floor conference room. Committee members are myself, Councilman Larry Hogg, and Councilman Betty Gavin. We also had members of staff there and our newly appointed Deputy Chief Dupree, I'm sorry. And as he said, many changes are occurring in the technology systems, and today there's a memo at 51814 is the number, and that's just to reapprove the hardware maintenance contract for the RFP process. The regular contract will be coming up, but this is just a renewal to continue maintenance until the new contract is settled. And this was went out for bid, as Councilman McFarland brought up. He thought these things should go out to bid, so thank you for that. And Councilman Hugg, do you want to add anything to that?
I think you covered it all, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Betty?
I think you covered
We're all
it
good?
quite well, Councilwoman.
And the ADP project is closed out, and as I said, it's up and running. There were some glitches that they had going with that, but all in all, it's working quite well for a computer system that has lots of glitches, which I know of at the hospital when we put on our new system. So that concluded our report. It was very short.
Thank you.
Finance committee report.
Your Honor, the Finance Committee comprised of Councilman Hugg, Councilman Grill, and myself met this evening prior to this council meeting. Councilwoman Gavin also stopped in. We approved the minutes for the September 16th meeting. We reviewed the audit engagement letter from Wilmer, Rogers, Duran, and Ruzon. They came in with a 3-year quote for our next 3 years of audits with a 2% increase. We recommend that for approval tonight on our agenda. We had an ADP update to the Finance Committee. There were a few glitches, none of them major. They're working on, most of them were worked out. They're still working on a few. Had a bond update. There was some water and sewer bonds that were refinanced recently that saved us $492,000 in future payments. Also reviewed the personnel summary, conference, travel, seminar expense, treasurer's disbursements, regular claims. Found them all to be in order and recommend their approval.
Thank you, Councilman.
Land Use and Legislative Committee report.
Your Honor, I was out of town.
Oh, that's right, you weren't there, yes.
Councilman
Right.
McFarland would give the report.
That's right, I forgot.
The Land Use and Legislative Committee is comprised of Councilman Morris, Councilwoman Gavin, and myself. We met on October the 15th with a lengthy agenda. We reviewed the sign ordinance that the city currently has for temporary signage. This was brought up by Councilwoman Quillman, and we basically comprised an advisory notice that was sent out to the public, informing them of our current ordinances and reminding businesses that putting temporary signage in the right-of-ways is illegal. We also talked about the agenda item, which is on tonight's agenda, the ordinance amending the Consolidated Stormwater Management, Soil Erosion, and Sediment Control Flood Plan. We also talked about the city's property that we own at 622 Railroad. We heard from Ozinga Concrete along with Egan Marine. The committee forwarded to the city staff a recommendation to try to work out with some type of licensing agreement with Egan Marine, which should, I believe, come back to committee then to the council. We reviewed job descriptions for the council members, which the committee then tabled for public discussion for council members to have an opportunity to review what was compiled. We also talked about 2 items that are on the agenda for this evening, which is the agreement with Juliet's Restaurant and also Lockdown Bar and Grill, which again is on the agenda for this evening. I know there's going to be one question on Lockdown Bar and Grill. I was approached prior to the meeting by Mr. Sheridan. I don't know if now is the appropriate time for him to ask this question on the item. And we also talked about discussion, which is on the agenda also for tonight, is adopting a cupcake law, AKA bakery law in the city of Joliet. The other item that we discussed briefly, which I believe will be on the next agenda for the council or public service, is amending our ordinances for snow removal. Any cars that are on the public streets over 2 inches of snow, we're looking to adopt a new ordinance to allow individuals that do not have alley access or off-street parking an opportunity to park. I believe it's on the right side of the street. So we're trying to finalize with a couple neighborhood groups a compromise plan on what streets we allow for vehicles to park when there's over 2 inches of snow. Councilwoman Gavin, anything else?
You covered that just absolutely fantastic, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public Service Committee report.
The Public Service Committee comprised of Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman McFarland, and myself met yesterday afternoon at 4:45 prior to the pre-council meeting. Councilman Hug also was in attendance. We reviewed the contracts, change orders, pay estimates, and final payments. Found them being all in order, recommend their approval. We also had a report on the project where the Clearwater Identification and Elimination Project, where we're doing the smoke tests to see if there's violations of the sanitary sewer and storm sewer in private homes. The first report was, let's get it here. There were around 600 homes tested. 43 were in violation. Of the 43 letters that went out, 7 have responded, and 7 homeowners have responded and made the corrections. Most of the corrections can be done with an expenditure of around $100. The other ones who are not responding, we're going to have on our agenda a amendment to an ordinance at our November 3rd meeting, to send another letter out where it would say, basically, there'll be a $250 fine per month for noncompliance, to try and get their attention that way. Anyone who has a problem with making the financial problem to make the repairs, will work with them. And so hopefully we get more compliance in this, this next go-around.
Mayor,
Yes.
I just wanted to make an observation on Councilman Turk's finance report. Warmer Rogers, they've been a great partner for the city, I think going back to '86, if I'm correct, and they've asked for a nominal 2%. We discussed it at the committee, I think you remember that too. I think for the last 3 years, it may have been 4, but 3 years, I want people to know that this hometown accounting firm that takes care of our auditing tightened their belt with us. They took no increases for the last 3 years. They didn't ask for any. And when we were tightening the belt here, and when our residents are tightening their belt, so did Warmer Rogers. And I will thank them as a vendor, hometown vendor, for doing that.
Just a comment on the storm sewer problem. It never fails whenever we get a big rain, people get their basement flooded.
Right.
So I think the common answer is there's a lot of people, their sump pump is going into the sanitary sewer. So I think it's very important that we get them people to separate that. They may not be getting flooded, but they're causing other people's basements to get flooded.
Exactly.
So I think we really need to enforce that to get them to separate that.
I totally agree, and they've also found violations where the sump pump was going into the sanitary sewer, and also the downspouts were connected to the sanitary sewer. So, you know, it's better than it was, but this is basically what's causing the problem in Haldeman Terrace and Kerwin Estates.
Thank you.
I show no other reports.
Could we move up the proclamations if there's no objection?
Yep, that's next. First will be the Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through the 31st, 2014. Jerry Powell is here, the Prevention Coordinator with Chestnut Health Systems.
Part two. Well, so everybody's standing free. Okay. Loving this.
I'm not sure.
All righty. The proclamation. Whereas the theme Red Ribbon 2014 is Love Yourself, Be Drug Free. And whereas the drug and alcohol abuse has a devastating effect, not only on the individual, but also the family and the entire community. Whereas research indicates that young people who avoid the early use of alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs are less likely to engage in a self-destructive behaviors and actions that place individuals and community property in harm's way. And whereas Illinois Drug Education Alliance, Chestnut Health Systems, Greater Joliet Alliance for Youth, Fairmont Community Partnership, First Assembly of God, and Roger W. Powell's Children's Committee are promoting Red Ribbon Campaign throughout the state to raise awareness and constantly remind us of the dangers of illegal drug use. And whereas 2014 observance of Red Ribbon Week provides the residents of Joliet the opportunity to demonstrate their commitment to healthy living, drug-free lifestyles by actively participating in Love Yourself, Be Drug-Free. Now, therefore, I, Thomas Girardi, Mayor of the City of Joliet, Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby proclaim October 23rd through the 31st, 2014 as Red Ribbon Week throughout the city of Joliet and encourage all citizens to work together in making our community a healthy and safe place to live. Dated October 21st, 2014, by the Honorable Thomas Durante, Mayor.
Thank you very much. This is such an honor. Every year when I come up here, I'm flabbergasted at how many people are so supportive, as you can see by Joliet's finest, who's standing behind me, and another fine man as well from Jay. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Mayor, City Council women, as well as men, and all these people that are here. We have a tremendous fight. Drugs do run rampant all over the world, not just in the state of Illinois, and believe you me, Joliet is no exemption. We have a problem here as well, all over. So whenever we have red ribbons on to show that we're drug-free, and we support that throughout the school system and all over, that's something to be commended. And all these young people that you see sitting here with their red ribbons on, they are showing how proud they are to be drug-free. And thank you all, and I hope that you wear your ribbons all next week, because that is truly the week that has been designated for Red Ribbon Week. And just a little history, I won't be very brief, on what Red Ribbon stands for. It got started back in 1985 when a DEA agent by the name of Enrique Camara was killed. He was doing a stakeout in Mexico and did recover some serious drug action, cartel and everything, but to his demise, he was kidnapped and was killed. So his family and all the other people, the great people in California, decided to do this in his honor. And they approached Nancy Reagan, who was the first lady at that time, and she dedicated Red Ribbon Week for the whole nation. So we are still doing it today. And thank you so much for being a part of that. I appreciate it. The young man right there who used to be in my class when I was teaching Red Ribbon. Now he's sitting up there. He thought he was going to get away. He thought I wasn't going to say anything about it. He's a grown man now. He's getting all flushed, but look at him. I am just so proud.
You were a great inspiration.
Oh, I thought she was pointing at the mayor.
When I was in school, she wasn't around.
There you go.
The next proclamation is for Joliet Job Corps Day, October 23rd, 2014. Jan Larson is here. She's the Business Community Liaison for the Joliet Job Corps to accept the reward.
Jan, why don't we have all your kids come on up?
Come on up, kids.
Get behind me, so people see you on TV. Okay, proclamation. Whereas 50 years ago, this past August 20th, the U.S. Department of Labor's Job Corps program was created to provide career training and education opportunities to our nation's youth. And from its very beginning, Job Corps has operated on the fundamental principle that young people in search of a chance to change the course of their lives should be afforded that opportunity. Since the program's inception 50 years ago, more than 2.7 million young people have received life-changing career training and education support. Today, some 60,000 young people attend one of 125 Job Corps centers across the county, and Job Corps fills a critical need at a time when nearly 15% of young people ages 16 through 24 are neither in school nor at work. In addition to career training and education, Job Corps centers provide social skills, training, and other services to empower these young men and women to obtain and hold a job. enroll in advanced training, attend college, or enter the military. The Joliet Job Corps Center is a vital member of our community, providing employment for local residents, training for area young people, and actively participating in service. The Joliet Job Corps Center was dedicated on October 23, 1979, on Joliet Arsenal property. It is timely and appropriate that the people of Will County join together in celebrating and honoring the accomplishments of Job Corps on its 50th anniversary and locally its 35th anniversary. Now therefore I, Thomas Girani, Mayor of the City of Joliet of Illinois, on behalf of the Joliet City Council, do hereby proclaim October 23, 2014 as Joliet Job Corps Day. And I call upon the community to join me in saluting the Joliet Job Corps Center for its 35 years in the National Job Corps program, for 50 years of helping young people improve their lives. And it's signed Thomas Girani, Mayor of Joliet. Jan, you want to say a few words? I know you're never at a loss.
See, Janny wants me just to say a few words, so she knows me. I'm surrounded by some of our great students here at Job Corps. Many of you have been out there. Betty, Jimmy's been out there. Mayor Tom is coming again on Thursday. Terry, you've been a great friend. Jan's been there. Mike, thank you. Job Corps works. Job Corps in the last year was rated 3 out of 125 Job Corps. It's not because we're the best-looking center, although we're a good-looking group of people. And it's not the best facility in the world, because it's an aging facility. It's the old high school built in '64, but it's the heart of the people that work there. We care about our students, and we set boundaries, and we're very sad when a student crosses the boundaries, maybe one too many times, and has to leave. But rules are rules, and that is why we're a successful Job Corps. So we love our kids, and they are worthy always of our time. So thank you.
Jan, thank you for your leaving, I hear.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting out of town.
Yeah, retiring, but thank you for all you've done, too.
Well, thank you.
Sure, sure. Good.
Enjoy your retirement.
We'll see you Thursday, 10 o'clock.
Thanks. Good luck to you.
So you're the photographer, huh?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to keep the house for a while.
Work.
Sure. Yeah, you said.
Next on the agenda is Council Memo 526-14, the issuance of a Class D liquor license at 116 South Larkin Avenue, Pizza for You. It's recommended Pizza for You be issued a Class D liquor license.
So moved. Second.
Krista?
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Back to the consent agenda. First is the approval of minutes. It's recommended the minutes of the pre-council meeting held on October 6th and the minutes of the regular council meeting held on October 7th, 2014 stand approved as recorded. Treasurer's disbursements for September 2014, $19,187,232.55. Regular claims for September 2014, $3,505,716.96. The treasurer's report for August 2014. It's recommended the treasurer's reports, regular claims, and treasurer's report be received and placed on file. Is there a motion to approve the said consent agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
Krista?
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye, with the exception of those that pertain to my employer.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next Under ordinances, Council Memo 496-14, an ordinance amending the City of Joliet's consolidated stormwater management, soil erosion and sediment control and floodplain management regulations. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 497-14, an ordinance reapproving the recording plat of Cumberland South 40 Subdivision Unit 4. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
And motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 498-14, an ordinance approving a variation of use to allow continuation of a 2-unit and R3 use in an R2 district located at 925 North Broadway Street. It is recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Motion to deny.
Second.
Questions? Comments?
Mayor, we did provide an addendum on this issue at last night's pre-council meeting. The request for the original MLS listing was asked for, and that is provided. The city did check with Bolingbrook, where he has some other properties, and they experienced no code issues with the applicant, and individually as a landlord, the Bolingbrook Police Department had no issues as well. And as a final recap, the question was about the residential capacity of the site and at 925 Broadway. And the R2 district minimum lot area per family is 7,500 square feet, and that would allow 2.75 units on that parcel of property.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Sure.
If I may. First, I want to thank city staff for the detailed information that we've got. I also want to say something about, to Mr. Oscar. I don't want to butcher your last name, but, sir, I was responsible for having it tabled the last time, and then for some additional information, and after some careful thought, this is nothing against you, sir. I think that you did an amazing job with improving that property. I understand that your other rental properties, you do an amazing job with that as well. My concern is, though, this seat I said is the people's seat. And with you not being a resident and not knowing the prior history of what the neighborhood council is changing in the Cunningham area. So this is nothing that has to do with you, but the community has spoke. And sir, for that, you know, I'm sorry, but I must deny it.
Any other comments?
I would just like to.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. I would just like to say that I know the neighbors of the Cunningham Neighborhood Association also want to thank Councilwoman Gavin. They gave me a couple calls to commend her for not rushing to judgment and for giving people that do come to our community and want to do business here an opportunity to voice their opinion and do the research. And this is a transparent piece of property. It wasn't just rubber stamped. You know, you don't live here, it's not a illegal 2-unit, we don't want you. That wasn't the case at all. And I know that the neighbors were very happy with how you handled it with staff and did the research, Betty. So I just wanted to commend you for that.
There was motion and seconded to deny said ordinance. Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Thank you, staff, for giving the MLS listing in a timely manner. And I have to say, it says detached single, and it suggested maybe a great related living situation. So I can't find a misunderstanding in this, so I'll have to vote aye on it.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Before I vote, I do have some concerns. I am concerned that if this gentleman loses that piece of property and goes in to foreclosure, then we're going to have a vacant building there. And that concerns me. So I hope that don't happen. I hope he's able to sell it or rent it to get his money back. But I vote aye.
Motion carried. The ordinance was denied. Council Memo 499-14, an ordinance approving a recapture agreement for the Arbiter Road sanitary sewer interceptor improvements. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second?
Questions, comments? Krista?
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 500-14, an ordinance declaring certain properties as public nuisances. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hugg.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 501-14, an ordinance in regard to the sale of food products by home kitchen and cottage food operations. It's recommended said ordinance be adopted.
Move
Jeff,
to approve. Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
It's all right. Jeff, I know we discussed this, and just maybe give a brief explanation, synopsis, if you would.
Certainly, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this matter was brought before the Land Use Committee last week, and at the request of several citizens who became aware of a state law that was enacted this summer that makes it easier for the preparers of homemade baked products to sell those products for not-for-profit purposes or at church sales or events like that, provided that the buyers of the product understand that these are homemade goods. And the reason why that law needed to be enacted is because downstate, a county health department decided to prosecute a teenage girl who was selling cupcakes, trying to help her church raise some funds. And the basis for the prosecution was that the parents' kitchen was neither inspected nor certified as a commercial bakery. And it just seemed to everyone that although there's certainly a public interest in ensuring food safety, that there are limits, and that certain things like bake sales and sales by children at churches is something that the community can and should tolerate, provided that the buyer understand that this is a homemade product and let the buyer beware and take appropriate action. So with that being said, the state law was changed to allow municipalities on a case-by-case basis to allow cupcake sales to occur. And I say cupcake, but I mean essentially any homemade baked product. And so should the city council enact this ordinance, it would be legal in Joliet, although we probably always thought it was, for not-for-profit groups and church groups to sell homemade baked goods, provided they don't make more than $1,000 per year, or per month rather, and provided that there's a clear disclosure on the product that it's a homemade product.
Any questions?
A motion to approve?
So moved.
I did.
Did you second? Okay. A motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
You know, from someone who does a real good job of eating petites over the holidays, I'll vote aye.
Councilman Hugg.
I grew up with a grandmother. Every event that came up, she made kolaczkis and they sold them, whether it be church, school, when I was in the Cub Scouts. And I don't want to make her roll over in her grave, so I'll vote aye.
Councilman McFarland.
I vote aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
You know, there have been a lot of phone calls out there about people saying that they're against this, and come on, people, get a life. If you don't want to eat homemade goods, then you don't have to buy them. Make them yourself. I don't know what my Christmas would be like without my petitas and my apple strudel, because I certainly don't have time to make it, and they're absolutely delicious, and to see this not happen, it would be just, it's craziness. I don't know what this world is coming to. Really, seriously, come on.
Fair.
Pizza, cupcakes, I vote aye, absolutely.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Yes, sir. Sure.
While I'm doing that, can I have Councilman McFarland walk down to the podium, please? Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager, Mr. Plyman, the members of Kettingham Neighborhood Council and all the ethnic bakers of Joliet, thank you for passing this ordinance. This is a fine example of our elected officials listening to the voters and taxpayers of Joliet, actually a second time tonight. From the very moment that Georgine Williams, AKA Chihuahua, you know, that little dog keeps nipping at your ankles until they get what they want, called you folks, and I sent out an email on September 26th. This ordinance passed in record time. In less than 30 days, the job got done. People will have their pizza, strudel, and other ethnic baked goods for their holiday celebrations. CNC would like to give a special thank you to Councilman McFarland for taking the lead on getting this passed. Last week, he placed the issue on the legislative committee agenda. Later that week, Mr. Plyman wrote the city ordinance. We have a special gift tonight for Councilman McFarland, and as a token of our appreciation for his leadership. And we would request that he wears this all night during the meeting.
Oh, boy.
Actually comes in two parts.
Oh, watch out.
It's gotta be a hat involved.
Getting so giddy.
Oh.
When do you see Daddy click? Come up here and see Daddy.
You can do the baker routine, or you can do the Chef Boyardee, you know, with the platinum. We like the baker routine.
Or the Pillsbury
Thank you
Doughboy.
again. We appreciate it.
Oh, you gotta wear that. You gotta wear that.
All right, I hear you have some pizza to pass out.
All
Go
right.
for it.
Let's get to the good part.
I'm not afraid to eat it. No, I'm not afraid to eat it.
It's legal to
Were
eat.
those made in a commercial bakery?
Oh, yeah, you gotta wear that all day.
Heck, I got sick from E. coli lettuce at a restaurant of famous proportions, so they should be
Got an
checking those
eyeball.
guys.
Eyeball's my favorite.
Let me get a picture of that.
This is how you get rid of the council.
I think I didn't have dinner. Thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
Cupcakes.
There you go.
Thank you.
Buyer beware, I hope he keeps it on.
More cupcakes. Oh, my gosh.
I only need one.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the treats. Thank you for the treats. Here, I'm eating it, okay?
Next year.
Walk out of here. Delicious.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I like cookies. Oh, here. Right here.
We'll have you know, she fully disclosed it was homemade.
What's their thing?
You know I want that one very much.
You got strudel, too?
Thank you.
Oh, my God.
Shane, you're only
I can't
allowed
get it
one
out.
piece.
Huh?
You're only allowed one piece.
No, I'm going for the strudel now. Got it. This is the best council meeting ever. Yes, it is.
Am I taking up a lot of time now?
That's okay.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
We're hungry. Thank you.
You want water? You want a water?
Did they get fortune?
Look at me. What do you think? What do you recommend?
I believe it at
Plates
the
are all
end.
here.
I need
Here's a
plates now.
napkin.
Right here. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Here we
I
go.
got it, thank you. Here's a
I'm
plate.
getting ahead of everybody else.
Yes, thank you.
Apple strudel.
Are we taking a lunch break?
Any milk?
Cold milk.
Unpaid.
It's all for you, Jeff.
It wouldn't be cake.
Come on, Bob.
You know, we need like a distiller's law.
Yes, thanks.
Right.
Thank you.
And you know what, ma'am,
at that.
ma'am,
I do not.
You can't see the dough, so you can tell it's good pizza.
Yeah.
You might give it a shot.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It's gonna be good.
Be good.
It's paper thin.
No, I got one.
Pizza or apple strudel?
Pizza.
Cold milk.
We didn't have it. Sure
Yes, I do. Thank you.
I'll have the pizza. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, that's a ditto over here.
We're taking a pizza and strudel break for those watching at home. So-
Yes. Pizza, my dear. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, girl, look at that.
It is good. I didn't know what it is.
Pizza's excellent.
Can tell by looking at it.
Good.
My daughter likes it.
Place your orders, guys.
I'll cut the commercial break and
Feel bad for the Juliet's guys next and
I know you said no to go forward, or do you want to?
Yeah, I'll vote for Pauline.
Tom?
Can't say no.
Tom?
Pauline said, come on.
Yes.
oh, I got a cupcake.
Next under resolutions is Council Memo 503-14, a resolution approving a development agreement for Juliet's Restaurant at 205-207 North Chicago Street and
that
5
yours?
West Cass Street. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So move.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried.
He's too fun.
Council Memo 504-14, a
was
resolution
Juliet's.
approving a development agreement for the Lockdown Bar and Grill at 1 East Cass Street. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Krista? Oh. Sorry.
I got a question and maybe a suggestion, and I apologize for not having the question yesterday at the study session or pre-council meeting. But I was reading the paper this morning, and Times Weekly, you know, in Crabigales, I remember when it first opened, you know, and we do everything we can to get incentive to get businesses downtown, truly support that, no matter what it takes. But it's the idea that if it's true, he talked about us buying that building back for $2,000 after that gentleman passed away. And I know he lived in my neighborhood,
Right.
the owner, but it was the idea that he passed away, the property sat there. We spent, as a city, $200,000 to buy it back. And then just looking quickly at the agreement that's out there tonight, I see, you know, that we're basically selling the building back to him for $250,000, and he gets a credit back. But I didn't see anything in here that maybe protects ourselves down the road if this happens again. Maybe we're, God forbid, the business failed in 6 months or 8 months or whatever. We make this type of investment with the property that we don't end up having to buy it back again for another, say, $250,000. Is there some protection for us in the agreement where we have an opportunity to buy it back for what we paid for it, or there should be some type of value set on that building. I don't know what it would be. I know it needs repairs. I see this is going to be made to have repairs, which is a good thing. It's just going to sit there and deteriorate. But it has to be some value attached to it today. But is there some way we get first grab, a first dip on it, if it was to go up for sale, and maybe no more than what a price we agreed upon or something? I mean, it's a suggestion or a question.
You're looking at me, John, so I
Yeah.
guess that means I have to answer.
Well, I assume you drafted the language.
Actually, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, this is the approval of a negotiation which occurred probably 18 months ago when City Manager Tom Thanis was still with the city. And the arrangement initially did include a reverter provision. However, as a practical matter, there is no lender on the planet that will accept anything less than a first position. So that was not possible for us to secure in this particular round of negotiations. So what we're trying to do, because you want to minimize the risk that you have no building and no project.
Right, right.
And so we're going to have a three-way closing with the financing and the property conveyance. And so everybody will have to be convinced that the project is, funds are in hand, construction contracts are ready to go. Everything is ready to launch before the city will then release the property to the project.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
There was motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 505-
Mr. Mayor, if I may interrupt, I'm sorry, Krista, but John mentioned Brian Graff, the person who maybe 10 or 12 years ago initially stabilized that very important building and opened Crabigales and spent a lot of money and sweat equity in bringing that property back from where it was, which is essentially almost demolished. And I always thought that the community should recognize Brian. He passed away from cancer shortly after he opened the property, and I know it's renovation was a personal dream of his. And staff has discussed the matter with the developers of this property, and they agreed to honor and commemorate Brian in some appropriate way, a plaque or something of that nature, when the restaurant opens.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks, Jeff. That's great.
Mayor, since you brought this up again, a question was this morning brought to me. In the agreement, there's a 6-month window for them to actually open up, if I'm understanding this correctly. If that does not happen, do we then put it back on the market? I mean, what's the plan if this?
The plan is to work hand in hand with the lender. You know, this is a situation where the city will not release the property to the project until we know the lender has released the funds and that the developer has construction contracts ready to go.
Gotcha. And then the property will go back on the market then for another potential developer?
If the project doesn't open, the bank gets it back, and the property will then be placed on the private market like our other downtown properties.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Mayor?
Yep.
And Jeff, the clock starts ticking when we approve it or at the closing?
Closing.
Okay, thank you.
Council Memo 505-14, a resolution accepting the McClintock Road right-of-way dedication from the Forest Preserve District of Will County. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
In motion and seconded to approve, Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 506-14, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with the Forest Preserve District of Will County for road right-of-way dedication and utility license associated with the U.S. Route 6 Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So move.
Second.
Questions? Comments? Krista?
A motion seconded to approve. Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 507-14, a resolution authorizing the conveyance of 410 Woodruff Road to Imperial Roofing. It is recommended said resolution be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Comments?
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Otterkirk?
Thank you for your work in stabilizing the neighborhood. I vote aye.
Councilwoman Coleman?
I vote aye. Thank you.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Thank you so much. Vote aye. Keep up the good work.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
This is going to make that gateway into the city even a better gateway, so thank you again. Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Council Memo 508-14, a resolution authorizing the conveyance of 329 South Joliet Street to the Will County Housing Development Corporation. It's recommended said resolution be adopted.
So move.
Second.
Questions?
It's been motioned seconded to approve. Councilwoman Coleman?
Aye.
Councilman Turk?
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin?
Aye.
Councilman Girl?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilman McFarland?
Aye.
Councilman Morris?
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk?
Aye.
Mayor Durrani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is a resolution in recognition and honor of Jeff Plyman, Corporation Counsel for 28 years of dedicated service to the city of
Come on,
Joliet.
Jeff, you're on.
see this day.
Said that about Bob Frazier.
Whereas Jeff Kleiman has served the people of the city of Joliet as corporation counsel for 28 years. Whereas Jeff Kleiman began his employment with the city of Joliet on December 1st, 1986 as assistant corporation counsel. And whereas Jeff Kleiman was promoted to assistant corporation counsel 2 in 1989, and again in 1999 to corporation counsel, where he remained until his upcoming retirement. And whereas Jeff Kleiman has served his community as chairman of the advisory board for Joliet Salvation Army and is a member of the Joliet Rotary Club. Whereas Jeff Kleiman is a very dedicated and loyal employee, performing his duties in a most professional manner, consistently receiving accolades and praise from the legal community and fellow city employees. Whereas Jeff Kleiman was instrumental in representing the city during its period of extensive growth and development, including Silver Cross Field, the Historical Museum, Chicagoland Speedway, Audubon, Centerpoint, Route 66 Raceway, both casinos, and the extension of the city boundaries with residential and commercial development. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and City Council of the City of Joliet, Section 1, that is hereby deemed appropriate that Jeff Kleiman be recognized and commended for the outstanding and professional manner in which he performed his duties as Corporation Counsel for the many years of dedicated and loyal service to the City of Joliet, past this 21st day of October. Thank you.
Pauline gave me permission to go on and on and on tonight. And you know I can do that once I crank it up. And I just want to, I could thank everybody. I'll start with the mayor for the kind gesture. I thank the mayor and city council for treating me professionally over the years, and it's been a pleasure to serve you all. I want to thank the public who made it happen, really. I want to thank my wife and staff who are here tonight, against my wishes, but here they are. I certainly want to thank Tom Thanis, who hired me, John Messer, who promoted me, and Mr. Hawk, who has been a great person to work with. He's a great city manager. Jim, you should be here for 28 years like me. You'll love it. Get to do this. You know, you work for a legal department, and you have a contact with a lot of people, both inside the organization and outside the organization. And after a while, you learn that really what your job is to help the police department, the fire department, public works, public utilities, planning, all the people who really have direct contact with the public and who really make the city run. And that's who I've tried to really, really serve and do my best for, is to help all the people, the working stiffs of City Hall, the people who earn a living here and who try to represent the public and provide public service. I'm their lawyer. I'm your lawyer, but I was really their lawyer, and I tried my best to help them. So I want to thank you all. As John Messer said at Tom Thanis's party, it's not a funeral, it's a party. And so I'm going to enjoy life from here. I've certainly loved being here. I'm going to be a citizen of Joliet along with my wife. And we'll see each other again, of course. I won't sit there. I'll sit back here. But I love Joliet, and I know you people do as well. So thank you very much.
We do need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Jeff, what did Jim Hawk do to anger you so that you would condemn him to 28 years of hard labor?
This resolution.
Okay.
Jim's been an absolute pleasure to work with, and one of my biggest regrets in moving on is the fact that I only got to work a year with Jim. True professional. City's very lucky to have him.
Thank you, Jeff.
Well, for myself and on behalf of the citizens of District 1, the residents, I thank you for the many years of hard work and service that you put in service of them. Aye.
Councilman McFarland,
Thank you, Jeff, and I vote aye.
Councilman Morris,
Thanks, Jeff, for everything.
Carried.
I vote aye.
Councilman Otterkirk,
Jeff, thank you, and thanks for the spirited debates the last 3.5 years. I vote aye. Enjoy your
Be
retirement.
more, Bob. Thank you.
Councilwoman Coleman,
I'll vote aye.
Mayor Girani.
Jeff and I go back. I remember sitting across the bargaining table from Jeff, and we had our discussions. But he was always up front. It was great working with him, and it's been great working with him. Thanks, Jeff. I vote aye.
Motion carried.
Sure. Michael?
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, Mike Hanson, I would like to take this opportunity to say a few words about Jeff Lyman. First, before I do, though, I do want to make a comment about one other thing that happened just a little bit ago, and I think it's just indicative of the type of person that Jeff Lyman is and the type of city that we have. I was just really almost overwhelmed, Jeff, to hear you say 10 minutes ago that the city was going to recognize one of my former clients, Brian Graff, on the Crabbe-Gills matter. I can still remember when Brian's brother Tim called me on a Saturday afternoon when I was working, wondering if I could help out Brian with Crabbe-Gills. I don't know if there was anybody I ever encountered that had more enthusiasm and energy and excitement, and he was the guy responsible, the first guy to develop in downtown Joliet. And to die the cruel death of pancreatic cancer with 3 young daughters, and what he had to do, was really very tragic. We know he was not a success in the business world, but he was a success in other worlds, and I think it's great that, Jeff, you spearheaded that, the city staff, you're going to recognize Brian. I just think it's indicative of the type of person that Jeff Lyman, really has been. Before I get into some prepared remarks, and I apologize, I know it's late, but I may not be brief, and that's okay. I got to make a couple, when you stand up for something like this, you always have to make a couple of humorous remarks, and my humorous remarks are, Jeff, for your last meeting after 28 years, and to think that your legacy is going to be the passing of the cupcake ordinance.
I know.
Yeah. And my second comment was when I heard John Sheridan say that it was passed within 1 month, all I can think of, Jeff, is all the times that if a lot of my clients would have known that you got something done within 1 month, it was like, oh man, I really had it. So anyway, we had to start with a couple of funny comments. But, when I sat down and thought about this tonight before coming to the meeting, I've been Jeff's competitor, his adversary for, 28 years. And, I don't think there's anybody that I admire more talents and, more his fairness in dealing with city matters than anybody that I've ever encountered. When I think of Jeff, I really think of 3 things. And I think these are things that I want to kind of leave with the council. First of all, legal ability. He's truly a man, a person that has outstanding legal ability. His reasoning, his intelligence, his ability to grasp facts and equate that to the law is absolutely at the very top of anybody I've ever dealt with. Chicago lawyers, anybody else. Number 2, political instincts. Great political instincts. He's had to work with all of you, the council, people like myself, the public. He's had to put all that together. I can only imagine some of the outstanding advice and insight and counsel he's given you in closed sessions with respect to all the crucial city decisions. Great political instincts from Jeff, very crucial. And the third point, a point that is lost upon all lawyers, a point that I did not encompass until I had the great fortune of working at the Empress as general counsel, was the ability, this business acumen. Jeff possesses outstanding business acumen. It's the ability to not only know the city's business, meaning the financial business, and but also to relate to the client, to the opposition, to understand the developer, what the developer is going through, how much it's costing, what the developer has to do, and then to develop a fair, honest, good agreement, good situation for the city. But not many lawyers possess that outstanding trait. He learned it very well from his predecessor, Tom Thanis. Tom had that and those other traits. Jeff followed suit, and it was all just a joy to deal with him because he understood my client's business. Yet on the other hand, he never sold the city short. Your resolution listed a number of the projects that Jeff had been involved with. And I read the list, and I just want to comment on 3 of them, 2 of them which are in the list and 1 of them which was not. And when I think of Jeff about projects, I'm going to think of him for 3 projects. Number 1, of course, Silver Cross Field. what unbelievable excitement and enthusiasm Jeff had for that project, the baseball team coming to the city. I can tell you this, and Jeff, you know this, he ran circles around my client with the lease. You guys got an outstanding lease. Jeff studied it. He got into that. He didn't know, he didn't have the first-hand knowledge as to what was to do, but he knew exactly how to negotiate for the city, and yet he continued on to assist the baseball team with whatever situations and problems that occurred, and, you know, was a great fan, and I always will thank him for, you know, being a real integral part of bringing city and the baseball stadium to downtown Joliet. You know, the second project that I want to recognize Jeff for is a real little known one. It's a group of projects, and it's all of the annexations and developments to the city of Joliet that happened in the late 80s and early 90s. When I think back of those days, you know, I think of, you know, Mesra and Thanis and Plyman and Haller and Fisher, and they're working with a lot of my clients, you know, the BD Builders and Bruce Francis and St. John's. You know, when I tell people that how great Joliet is, and people say, boy, the casinos did a great job for Joliet, that's true, but it's only half the story. The other half is all the annexations, all the developments that came into Joliet during those crucial years. Jeff was right at the cusp of that, right involved in the middle of that. He's got great stories, and without his dedication and his work ethic, none of this would have been possible, and we wouldn't have the city we have today. And that was a really fun time, real fun time to practice law and to help the city of Joliet. But I also think of Jeff's real legacy, in my opinion, and that's going to be Evergreen Terrace, not mentioned. You know, Jeff was the lone wolf on that project for, what, 12 years? The lone voice to a project that I think is really critically important to the city of Joliet and our future. And I want all the council here, and I would urge all the council to remember Jeff, remember the city, to keep this project going, to pursue this, complete this. Everything Jeff has done, fortunately, has just worked to a T. Just excellent right now. We got to finish this off, and this is really critical, I think, to the downtown, let alone the future of the city of Joliet. And I can only thank Jeff for his tremendous dedication and sticking with this case for a long time. You know, I'm going to miss our Friday afternoon, you know, meetings at 4 o'clock. This sometimes went till 6:30. Miss our phone calls, daily phone calls almost, really. Sometimes going for an hour, rapping about this and that, arguing over, you know, this agreement, this provision, whatever. And, you know, I'm glad you're staying in Joliet. I do want to also recognize, and I'm thankful that you did, you know, Jeff wouldn't be here today without a phenomenal staff. And, you know, Janice, who we've worked with, tremendous, just does an outstanding job. His other legal staff. And, of course, how can you not thank your wife, Karen? Because without that, I can attest to that. You know, you wouldn't even be here today. So, you know, she owes a great debt of gratitude to everything. So just with those final comments, I thought somebody should come up and really tell, I hope, the real Jeff Plyman story. You know, we'll miss you. I'll see you around you, although I just don't know if Notre Dame's going to play in Northern Illinois football, so we'll have to find something else. But
Probably not.
Otherwise, you know, thank you for all your great friendship over the years, and we'll miss you, but congratulations. Thank you.
Your Honor, I was going to save my comments about Jeff till the end, but just a couple of quick comments. In my 27 years I've known Jeff, you know, I've called him a ton of times, and hoping that I says, you know, we can get this thing done, and I'm hoping for an easy answer, and a lot of times it wasn't the answer I wanted to hear, but it was the right answer, and if there was a compromise to be had, you know, Jeff found it. And he respected and knew the position we were in as elected people, and how sensitive that was to the issue, and always tried his best to get a compromise. I too would like to commend him for all the projects he's done. You know, for all them years, he ate, drank, breathed. He bled Evergreen Terrace, and he did a fantastic job. I think if I would have called Jeff at 3 o'clock in the morning and asked him a question on Evergreen Terrace, he probably would pull the file out from under his pillow and give me the answer. But Jeff, it's been great. I really appreciate the help you've given me personally as a councilman, and what you've done for this city is not going to go unrecognized. So good luck in your future, and I'm sure we'll see each other.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
I actually, too, was going to save my comments for the end, but I figure since we're on a roll, I might as well do it here. But I remember in, I think it was it 99, Jeff, or 2000, that you got the council, or the city attorney position after Tom
99.
was there? 99. And I remember thinking, I was actually on the county board at the time, and Tom Thanis was the attorney at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, who's going to replace Tom Thanis? I mean, he was an icon down here and really did a fantastic job and a great legal mind. And then I remember over the next couple years, just kind of observing Jeff, working with Jeff, from the private sector, and thinking to myself, man, did they find the right guy? Did they find the right guy to replace Tom Thanis? And just being on the city council, Jeff, and calling you with a lot of questions that I have, especially 3 years ago when I was a new city councilman, I just want to thank you for all your wisdom and your advice and your legal counsel. And I think what most impresses me about Jeff is he's obviously, as it's been mentioned here very eloquently by Mike Hansen, a tremendous legal mind, but he is the most humble man you will ever meet, and passionate about Joliet, and always considerate of others, just the way he deals with the public and with the council. But what most impresses me about Jeff is obviously a tremendous legal mind, but how humble you are as a human being. And I want to thank you for all of your hard work to the city of Joliet, Jeff.
Thank you, John.
Jeff, I also would like to add a comment. You and I met right around 2004, 2005 with the city work and the community work that I was doing. And Mr. Thanis and yourself, you were a great counsel. You were always as steady as a rock, man. You were as steady as a rock. And when I would come and ask questions or seek your counsel on something, you were always right there, and you had so much feeling with that. When I came to this seat, I met your precious wife first, and she was on her way to retiring. And I said, oh, that's nice. And then when I heard about your retirement, I started to take this thing a little personally, but but it did not dawn on me that it had been 20-some years, and so you well deserve it. So, sir, enjoy it. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for the legacy that you're going to leave in this city.
Thank you, Betty.
Next, under award of contracts, Council Memo 510-14, award a contract for the installation of sludge circulating pumps for the East Side wastewater treatment plant digesters. Council Memo 511-14, award a contract for the Chicago Street Van Buren Plaza brick paver project. Council Memo 512-14, purchase a F450 truck for the roadways division. Council Memo 513-14, purchase 2 tandem axle trucks with plow accessories for the roadways division. Council Memo 514-14, award a contract for auditing services for a 3-year period. Council Memo 515-14, award a contract for snow removal for municipal lots. Council Memo 516-14, purchase a Ford F-250 truck for the utilities department. Council Memo 517-14, purchase 2 tandem axle trucks for public utilities. Council Memo 518-14, approve payments for information technology hardware support services. It's recommended Council Memos 510 through 518-14 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
Been motion and seconded to approve. Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Quick comment, I do this once in a while for those that may be watching their city council meeting for the first time. All these things were vetted yesterday, folks, if anybody's wondering why we're voting and we're not discussing each item. So I would invite you, if you did tune in for the first time tonight, to always watch the Monday night meetings to see the full vetting of these items. And I vote aye.
Councilman McFarland.
I vote aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Amendments, change orders, and payments. Council Memo 520-14, approved change order number 1 for the East Side wastewater treatment plant blower replacement project. Council Memo 521-14, approved change order number 2 and payment request number 4 and final for the Country Club Villas Spencer Road Public Improvements Project 2014. Council Memo 522-14, approved change order number 1 and payment request number 6 for the Cherry Hill Road New Lenox Road Roadway Improvements Project 2014. Council Memo 523-14, approve amendment number 1 and payment request number 4 for the professional services contract for Phase 3 engineering for the Cherry Hill Road and New Lenox Road Roadway Improvements Project 2014. Council Memo 524-14, approve change order number 2 and payment request number 4 and final for the Jefferson Street Water Main Improvement Project 2012. It's recommended Council Memos 520 through 524-14 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Krista?
A motion and seconded to approve. Councilman Girl.
Aye.
Councilman Hug.
Aye.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye.
Motion carried. Under licenses and permit applications, Council Memo 526-14 was previously approved. Council Memo 527-14, approval to hold a circus October 31st, 2014 through November 2nd, 2014 at the Louis Joliet Mall. It's recommended Cirque Italia be issued approval.
So moved. Second.
Questions? Krista?
Motion seconded to approve. Councilman Hug.
You know what? It just dawned on me. I mentioned it to Councilman. I apologize. None of us thought to move you up with the other. I apologize.
Right. I got to experience something
Did you get any
very
pizza?
intimate with you all. I've traveled all over the U.S., and I was actually going to say that to you all and the community as well of the city of Joliet, that I really experienced a very intimate and very involved council members and mayor, that you all care about your community a lot. So I like that about you guys. Thank you.
Did you get any pizza?
No, I didn't actually.
I'll vote aye.
Stole it all.
Councilman McFarland.
Aye.
Councilman Morris.
Aye.
Councilman Otterkirk.
Good luck. Aye.
Councilwoman Coleman.
Aye.
Councilman Turk.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gavin.
Aye.
Councilman Girl.
I vote aye.
Mayor Girani.
Aye. Good luck.
Motion
Thank you.
carried.
I would like to also, myself and the owner of Cirque Italia would like to invite each one of you out, you and your family members, to enjoy opening night if you like. Just let Linda know, Linda Johnson, and we can arrange that with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see.
Boy, petite in a circus. Oh, man, I'm loving it.
They're $75.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It is $50, isn't it?
Next, under Mayor, the proclamations were previously presented. Mayor Girani appointments.
I do not have any this evening.
Next, City Manager report.
Just a couple of things. Number one, we seem to move liquor licenses and permits always up to the beginning of the agenda anyways. So if there's no objection, I'm going to change the agenda so that maybe right after the consent agenda, we can address these petitioners and they can go on their way. The other thing was that our first meeting in November is on November 4th is Election Day, Tuesday, and so what council has approved is a combined pre-council meeting and council meeting for Monday, November 3rd, just so the public knows. Thank you.
Next is new business not for final action or recommendation.
I've got some. Sure. I've received a couple phone calls regarding the old diocese on 430 North Center Street, that there's a potential plan for that parcel of property to be turned into a ex-felon offender housing complex. And I don't know if that's true or not. I know it's being discussed at several different community meetings. And yeah.
Okay, just to give you a little, I was contacted by by Glenn Van Cure, the executive director for the Catholic Charities, who had been contacted by the bishop to possibly, in the planning stage, offer the St. John II house as a ex-offender reentry housing. However, It is just in the planning stages. I then took it to the neighborhood councils, Cunningham being one, St. John's being the other. We're going to discuss it with Councilman Morris to get the feeling of what the community would host talk with the mayor about it. So it is nothing that is concrete. It is in the planning stages, just being talked about. And so we don't know what the outcome of this would be. It's just in the conversational stage. A lot of the key stakeholders on the state level, county level, have been sort of reached out to. And so we just want to start the conversation to see if there is a need. I certainly think there is a need. I don't know where that location would be, but that's where we are in terms of having conversation.
So will there be, do you know, will there be some type of memo? Is there going to be community group, forums on this? I mean, like what kind of, I guess the question is, you know, A, what is the...
We are right now is, and I just mentioned this to Cunningham, to John Sheridan. Also, we talked about it at the St. John's meeting. What I would love to do is get the community neighborhood councils talking and discussing it. If there is a need for a larger meeting, that can certainly happen. I think that what they're trying to do is just trying to either find a way to get some use for that housing. There's only 8 rooms. 2 of those rooms will be office and maybe classroom, and so at the end, if anything like that should happen, it would be only 6 rooms available for the housing. And so they are either looking at that. If that doesn't go through the sale of the property, it may go for sale. So we don't know just yet.
Do we know if it's a sex offenders or what?
No, it is not. No sex, no drugs, no violent offenders. And the reentry process will look to start 6 months before a person is released, and then the continuing building those safety nets around the person so they can be a productive citizen. And so I think there are several agencies that are in town that deal with that already. Catholic Charities certainly has a great social network to be able to do something like this. I think Jill Scoley with Agape's Mission, she's at the table as well. And so we're having these conversations. And so as soon as anything is tangible enough to bring out, and none of these meetings are, behind closed doors, so. Absolutely.
Would something like this, Mr. Plyman, come back to the council for a vote?
Well, it depends exactly what's proposed. Generally, group homes require special zoning, but there's a lot of factors. You also need to remember that operations undertaken by religious organizations are highly protected, even if the land use itself is the type of thing that usually would be scrutinized closely. When undertaken by a church or some other religious organization, there's a lot of leeway that's provided to that type of operation.
Thank
But
you.
I would expect it to come back, Councilman.
Just to add on, when the Joliet Diocese decided to move to Crest Hill, then City Manager Tom Thanis and I met with the bishop up there, and we tried to get him to work with the University of St. Francis to either turn it over to him or sell it to him at a reasonable price. But evidently, I don't know if the bishop looked into that or not. But that was our suggestion. We were concerned about apartments up there, etc., and that would be a problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay. Anybody else?
Next is mayor and council comments.
Betty?
Okay. I'd like to take this opportunity to to thank Bob Odekirk and Terry Darcy and some of the other sponsors of a fantastic fight night for last Saturday night. That event was awesome. I think it was great fun had by all. I would love to see something like that again, Councilman, that would happen. Because amateur boxing, and I'm a boxing fan. And so even to see these young people get out there and display their skills and just mix it up like that was great. Thank you for providing such entertainment. And then again, thank you, sir, for the proceeds. I believe I can speak on behalf of Forest Park Center and Kentigny Post, and we were certainly beneficiaries of the proceeds, but we got to do that again. That was J-Town versus Chi-Town to the best. Thank you.
John?
And I just want to thank our guests for the cupcakes and the pizza and the strudel. It was excellent. Normally I leave these meetings starving, but not tonight. So anyway, thanks again for your hospitality. Much appreciated.
He's got it all over his coat.
I
too.
do. I'm
icing everywhere.
Many of us are aware, some of us aren't. The high school regular season, football season is coming to an end. This Friday night is the last regular season game, so I'd like to congratulate JCA and Providence for, again, qualifying for the playoffs. And I would like to also congratulate Joliet West, which has qualified for the playoffs with one game left for the first time in well over a decade. And I think those young men on that team need to be recognized. And I would also mention that Plainfield South is on the bubble, as we say in sports. They're 4-4 with one game left. And if they win 5-4 on Friday, they have a chance to make the playoffs. So, let's go Plainfield South. Also, a reminder that after our last meeting 2 weeks ago, for the parents watching, the new Joliet Halloween hours are 4 to 7 p.m. citywide. It matches all the communities around us, and just a reminder. And finally, after our last meeting and prior to this meeting, my wife's birthday was on October 10th. I want to wish my wife happy birthday. I don't know that I actually know her real age, but I will tell you she always looks 28 to me. And I love you very much, Susan. Happy birthday.
Oh, you got it.
That's it, Larry?
That's it. I'm done.
All right. I'd like to invite the Joliet community to support Domestic Awareness Month. And this Wednesday, the Exchange Club of Joliet will be hosting a spaghetti dinner to raise money to help fight domestic violence here in Joliet. It's at the Moose from 11 o'clock until 8 p.m. So please consider coming out and enjoying a nice warm spaghetti dinner and some great meatballs. I'd also like to thank the folks for the beautiful attire.
It's next Wednesday, isn't it?
A week from tomorrow, sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, I just caught out the corner of my eye. I was going to ask, was there some more cupcakes? Some over there, right? Okay. They were delicious. I don't know who made them, but the cupcakes were delicious.
They were home baked.
Yeah, that was that. I only have one thing. Today, Mr. Mayor, I went to the landlord conference. I think I was telling you earlier in the meeting. They did a record turnout, so I'd just like to congratulate Alfredo and the city staff on putting together a wonderful landlord conference today. Record turnout. A lot of the landlords was out and appreciate, the city staff and some of the people that Alfredo worked with, some of the other entities of the City Housing Authority. I don't want to get into all the names who all was there. But again, just congratulations to Alfredo Malesio and the city staff for the landlord conference.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again for the baked goods. We appreciate it. It added a little levity, which is sometimes needed up here. Betty, thank you for the comments. The boxing Saturday night went really well. I think we had somewhere between 350 and 400 people come out to support the VFW, Kentigny Post, and also the Forest Park Community Center, and more importantly, support the youth of Joliet, our young athletes. There were great matches made. It was very entertaining. I think people like Councilman Girl, who haven't seen live boxing before, was impressed. And specifically, I would like to thank Councilwoman Gavin, Councilman Girl, Councilman Hug, Councilman McFarland and Councilman Morris for coming out, supporting these fine organizations and our youth. Also, thank you to Terry Darcy for his generous support and encouragement. Thanks to Roy Smith from the Forest Park Community Center, Sam Colonna from Windy City Boxing, and Mike Joyce from Celtic Boxing. Betty, I think we are going to have it again, maybe next fall. We got a little bit of time, but it was a great event, and thank you for everyone who supported it. And then lastly, I want to congratulate the 4 new deputy chiefs. And it's kind of ironic, Mayor, after the conversation we had last night, I actually was partners with these 4 police officers. We all worked together in the tactical unit back in the 1990s. So congratulations to them, and I wish them luck. They're good men, they're good police officers, and they're a credit to our department and our city. So thank you.
Jan?
I had to save my comments for last. So, I've known Jeff since, 1995 and probably before that, as a novice on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and he was our counselor then before he became our city attorney. Jeff guided me on the zoning board and as a novice on the city council. I'm sorry. He's been a good friend. That's why I had to do this last. He's kind, he's fair. He has a big heart, and he loves his job, and he loves this city of Joliet. And it's sad for us, but I'm so happy for his wife, Karen, and so happy for Jeff. He was always there to answer my phone calls, answer my questions, and guide me along so that I didn't make any terrible, terrible mistakes. He has some big shoes to fill, and not anyone can just step into those shoes. It has to be somebody with experience, and it's also kind and knowledgeable, and that loves this city as much as we all do and as much as he does. It won't be the same, but I have to say, Jeff, enjoy your retirement, and the cupcake thing won't be all you're known. The ET Evergreen Terrace will be your legacy, and I will fight until we get that for you and for this city, because we need that. So, Jeff, enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for years of friendship and for all the good work you did for the city.
Thank you, Jan.
Your Honor, I'd just like to wish yourself and your wife Rose a happy 53rd anniversary today, and wish you many more. Also, I'd like to, we get these little placards that we can carry around in our wallet or your purse or whatever, with department heads' numbers on them, work numbers, home numbers, cell phone numbers in case of emergency. And I would hope that we'll get new ones with 4 deputy chiefs' contact numbers on there, so that on Friday and Saturday night, when we get the 11 or 12 o'clock at night phone call about a loud party and we need to get a hold of somebody, we can go down the deputy chief list instead of bothering the chief. That's it.
Just a couple things. I don't know if this council has heard, but the Housing Authority of Joliet were denied the request to redo Des Plaines Gardens. And I did hear, I had talked with Michael, and that VOA did get theirs, but we haven't been able to verify it yet, so.
Just this afternoon, Mayor, we did receive verification. IDA did release the list, and Hope Manor was included.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, I didn't eat this because I'm gonna have it breakfast, but I need another cupcake and another piece of pizza for my wife. This is our 53rd anniversary tonight, so. Okay, if I go home with 1 cupcake and 1 piece of pizza, I may not make 54. Okay? So I'm gonna need some more.
There you go.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Motion to
Good luck,
adjourn.
Mayor.
So moved.
Motion is seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned.